Hello students, the next poem that we are going to do is The Poetry of Earth. The Poetry of Earth is written by John Keats. John Keats is a romantic poet. You have already read about one romantic poet, that's William Wordsworth. He belongs to the second generation poet. The other poets are Wordsworth, Coleridge, Shelley, Keats and Byron. Now, romantic poets, they always celebrate nature, and in this very poem, the Poetry of Earth is also talks about talks about celebration of nature in all its forms. The Poetry of Earth is the title given in your book, but the actual title of this poem is On the Grasshopper and the Cricket. Now, On the Grasshopper and the Cricket is the title given by John Keats. Now, what does he want to say about this poem is that the poetry of earth, poetry here means the song of earth or the music of nature, that is never dead, so that never stops. Now, before we go to explanation of the poem, this poem is a sonnet, an Italian sonnet. Italian sonnet is has two parts, the octave and the sestate. Now, octave consists of 8 lines, as the name itself suggests, and the sestate are the remaining 6 lines. Now, now going on to that poetry of earth. Poetry means here the song of nature. Now, what is the song of nature or the song of earth? That is the different call of the birds and the animals, the chirping of the birds, the twittering of the birds, the call, here it is given, the call of the grasshopper and the cricket. All these are the music of the earth. And here we see that these the grasshopper and the cricket, they have been given a lot of importance in this particular poem. Now, let us first read the poem. The Poetry of Earth by John Keats. The poetry of earth is never dead. When all the birds are faint with the hot sun and hide in cooling trees, a voice will run from hedge to hedge about the new mown mead. That is the grasshopper, he takes the lead in summer luxury. He has never done with his delights, for when tired out with fun, he rests at ease beneath some pleasant weed. The poetry of earth is ceasing never. On a lone winter evening, when the frost has wrought a silence, from the stove there shrills the cricket's song in warmth increasing ever, and seems to one in drowsiness half lost, the grasshopper among some grassy hills. So, the very first line of the octave is an emphatic declaration that it emphasizes the fact that poetry of earth is never dead. That is, the song of the earth continues through the cycle of seasons. And then he goes on to explain why he says that. When all birds are faint, all birds means songbirds. Songbirds here means the birds in general. The song of the birds means the twittering and the chirping of the birds are faint with the hot sun. That is, they are extremely tired. So you do not hear even the chirping of the birds or the call of the birds. Why? Because and hide in cooling trees. So who hides in cooling trees? The birds hide in cooling trees. A voice will run. So it seems that since the birds have stopped chirping or twittering, there will be a silence in nature. So this song of nature will come to a stop. But it doesn't come to a stop. Why? Because a voice will run from hedge to hedge. Hedge are small bushes, from a new mown mead. Mead, the meaning is given in your book, meadow. New mown. Mown means the grass which has been freshly cut by a mower, that is a machine for cutting grass. So a new mown mead, that is the grasshopper. So whose voice can be heard at that time? The voice of a grasshopper. Grasshopper is a very tiny creature, but though it is very tiny, the poet has mentioned the grasshopper with a capital G. Okay, so that means it is very important. And why is it important? He takes the lead. Lead here means the responsibility. He takes the responsibility in summer luxury. In summer luxury, that is, though it is very hot, but the grasshopper is not tired at all. That summer brings joy and happiness to him, and it calls out very loudly. And the song of nature, which had appeared to come to a standstill, it has once again come alive by the call of the grasshopper. In summer luxury, he has never done with his delights. Never done with his delights means he calls out untiringly and without stopping. He calls out. He has never done with his delight, for when he is tired out of fun. So there comes a time when the grasshopper is tired. What does the grasshopper do? The grasshopper he rests at ease. At ease means quite comfortably, beneath, that is under some pleasant weed. Weed is unwanted plant. So the grasshopper is the creature which carries out the song of the carries on the song of the nature. Okay, that is why it has been given with a capital G. That is, it becomes very important. So the grasshopper becomes the poet of summer. Now we come to so this was about the octave, the first 8 lines of the poem. Now we come to the sestate, the next 6 lines. Even the sestate, the first line begins with the same thing. The poetry of earth is ceasing never. The poetry of earth is ceasing never means the poetry of earth is still alive. It does not stop. And now he talks of another season. On a lone winter evening. On a lone winter evening means evening, we know in western countries it's very cold. Okay, and it's a very harsh winter. And because it is very harsh winter, people generally stay indoors because of cold. When the frost is when everything turns into ice because the temperature goes below freezing point. So when the frost has wrought a silence, wrought means brought about a silence. So everything becomes silent because of this. Because of this cold. Okay, everybody is indoors, and since everybody is indoor, they cannot kind of go out, so they feel lonely in themselves. So that's why it says a lone winter evening, when the frost has wrought a silence, when there is complete silence in the atmosphere. From the stove there shrills. Stove here can be the stove, as it's given in your book, a device for cooking and heating, or it can mean also the fire or the hearth, which is there, in cold countries, to warm yourself up, or the heater. It can be also the heater. Now in modern times you don't have a fireplace, but you rather have the room heaters, which is a compulsory thing you have in every house over there. So from the stove there shrills. Their shrills means their calls out. So in this harsh extreme winter, another small creature has entered the house. And who is that? It is the cricket. that is also a very small creature, but see, it's given in a capital C because it's important. The cricket's song in warmth ever increasing. So the cricket has entered the house, and as you know, the stove is running, so it's warm inside because of the fire. It is warm inside, and that is the reason, why the cricket has got the warmth from there, and it cries out in a very loud voice. Shrill means in a very high pitched voice. And in warmth ever increasing. In warmth ever increasing means as it grows, as it gets warmer, its voice also doubles. It also cries out in an even louder voice. In another word also, this cricket, it brings warmth to this cold and very silent winter. The song of the cricket, or the call of the cricket, whatever you say. And seems to one in drowsiness half lost. Drowsiness means in a very sleepy state. That is, you are half asleep and half awake. So when that person hears this call of the cricket, what does it think? And seems to one in drowsiness half lost, the grasshopper among some grassy hills. So it is reminded about the grasshopper in some grassy hills. Not only reminded, what happens is that when it hears the song of the cricket, it mistakes it for the grasshopper in some grassy hills. That is, it mistakes the song of the cricket for that of the grasshopper. So this was for the explanation of the poem. Now this through this poem, the poet has established the grasshopper and the cricket as the poets of summer and winter respectively. Because the grasshopper carries on the song in the summer, that's why it becomes the poet of the summer, and because the cricket takes the responsibility of keeping the song of earth alive in winter, that's why it becomes the poet of winter. Another thing is, this poem is also a poem about beauty and hope. When everything comes to a standstill, we find even in extreme temperatures, this grasshopper and the cricket, they are not tired. So they ensure that the song of nature, as I have written over here, that the song of nature or the music of earth continues through the cycle of seasons. That is, through the summer and winter in that way. And it is internal, as he has already said, that the poetry of earth, that is the song of earth, never ends. That is, it never stops, it continues. So they have taken the responsibility of continuing with the song of earth. And hope, because even in extreme temperatures, they are not tired. Their call or their song enlivens the atmosphere. It brings life to the atmosphere. So in a way, they symbolize hope, and tells us that even when we face difficult situations, there is still hope in life. So that is about the poem itself. And another thing also, it says that it is also a celebration of the beauty of nature. That is, he's talking of the extreme type of seasons, that is the extreme summer and the extreme winter. So they also kind of keep a balance, and that is what is the beauty of nature. Thank you, students. Hope you have understood the poem. Thank you.